IntellectualRadio.com. Feed your brain. Feed me now. I'm starving. Good morning. Good morning. This is the Fitness Report radio show brought to you by the Fitness Representative. Special show today. Great day on the way. Got a good guest in coming from out south. Special guest. Got a lot of experience on the topic that we're going in on today. So I want to first say it's a beautiful day out. And you all know that I like to really give props to the days that aren't super sunny and aren't super warm because it puts you in a totally different mind state. We know we're in Chicago and it's about to get cold at some point, like super cold. But I look at that as the time to get business, stop all the riffraff and all the craziness of the summertime. So once again, like to thank you all for joining us today. This is the Fitness Report radio show brought to you by the Fitness Representative. We are live on Facebook Live as well as IntellectualRadio.com. So what we want to go in on first, I got to give a couple shout outs to a couple small businesses out there doing their thing. First off, Fit Black and Educated, Diego, California, out there doing their thing, getting people in shape. Got a couple of sponsorships with Reebok and another company that's doing pretty good. I see them out there doing those boot camps. Shout out to Mars Fit for leading the way with Fit Black and Educated. Fit Black and Educated can be found on the web at Fit Black and Educated on Facebook and at FBE_INC on Instagram and Twitter, I believe. And also I'd like to give a shout out to TMH Behavioral Services, out here helping black men with their mental issues. When I tell you that she's in the hood doing her thing for the brothers, now it's a mental therapy. It's a mental therapy company, small mental therapy company that's staffed with mainly women. There's a few men that work there also, but their entire purpose is to serve black men. Oh, that's simple as that. Serve black men to make sure we're okay, make sure we can have someone to talk to and get our problems out. So shout out to TMH Behavioral Services. You can check them out at TMH Wellness Redefined on Instagram and TMH Behavioral Services on Facebook. Or I think. She'll give me for that, but still, shout out to them for doing that good work. Shout out to Total Transformation Solutions, a wellness company geared towards helping people live a better life in general. Owner Tiffany Holmes, who's at TTW Coach on Instagram and Tiffany Holmes on Facebook, and Total Transformation Solutions on Facebook. A lot of programs that offer guidance in how to live a better life, how to live a healthier life, as she also goes through a transformation of just being a healthier person during that same period of time. We also want to let y'all know before we start, we are right in the midst of the Fitness Representative Online Weight Loss Challenge. Everyone that I talk to is about at or around 10 pounds right now with about 10 days left. 30-day challenge, online challenge, just to kick off the training season. Something that you guys something that's monitored, that brings a couple of prizes. We got first, second, and third place prize. Pretty good prizes this year, y'all, because we had a really good turnout. So look for that. We got the last week coming up, and the last week, basically, as far as the diet goes, you start, because it's a reset diet offered by myself. And basically what you do is you take out all the foods, you take all the crap foods. You put in nothing but the natural foods from the earth, if possible, fruits and veggies mainly. Right. Of course, water. And you take and you flush your body out over a week's period of time with that. Okay. And as the weeks go by, you add a nutrient or food up until the 4 weeks are over with. So you're thinking from October 1st to October 31st, first 7 days, fruits and veggies. Second 7 days, fruits, veggies, and you add maybe poultry.
Okay.
Third week, fruits, veggies, poultry, and maybe add back grains. Fourth week, fruits, veggies, poultry, grains, and then you add if you want, you add back dairy because I'm not trying to change what you eat. I'm trying to change how you eat,
Yeah,
which in the
that's
process
big.
could change what you eat.
Exactly.
You know, so a lot of people stick to week 1. Most people stick to week 2 because it allows you to work out and get more of a stable nutrition position going while you working out because you got to have some type of protein, you
Right.
know. So for me, I put it out there annually. This is our 5th challenge. The average is about 15 to 20, about 15 pounds lost in 30 days because it's not something extreme. When you think about the supplements that go along with it, you got CLA, BCAAs,
Right.
protein, a workout booster, maybe an energy booster, caffeine maybe, or whatever you choose for that could be natural, and same thing, maybe a fat burner, optional.
Right.
But things that are geared towards steady weight loss that can happen over a longer period of time than something fast and quick for you to just like hit and then you're done after that. So
it's a more healthier,
yes,
a healthier way of losing weight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And the period of time for you to learn something can totally happen over 30 days. So at the end of the 30 days, you should know something more than what you did when it started, giving you more of a reason to either stay in shape because you see the results,
right,
or because you just see how it feels versus how you felt before you did it. So
yeah, that different energy level.
Right.
Yeah, being able to hang out with the kids a little bit more.
Exactly.
Right.
And if you think about it, when your body flushes out all the crap, you feel the difference ASAP.
You
feel
do.
it. You feel it. If you take a few days and you eat mainly fruits and vegetables, whether they're cooked or raw, anything but the ones that are just laced up with all type of sauce, stuff like that, because you take a dressing, take preferably a vinaigrette.
Yep.
Vinaigrette is closest to regular, like a regular vinegar with no ingredients other than just a couple of ingredients that are in vinegar. It's basically the purest form of a dressing. It just wets the veggie.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of people get a salad and just completely mess it up with the dressing.
It's not even a salad anymore.
No, it's not.
it's cereal. It's like you eating some, like you at the Chinese store, the Chinese restaurant. So if you could stay within the lines of what it is to be healthy and clean, because even when you talk veggies, potatoes aren't the cleanest veggie. It's not the cleanest starch.
Right.
Potatoes, sweet potatoes, they're fine. They're great foods, but they're not the cleanest foods. We all know that the water soluble vegetables like lettuce, green peppers, onions, cucumbers, and stuff like that, those are the clean you out veggies.
Yeah, stuff you can take off the ground, rinse it off, and bite it right away.
Exactly. You can go at it without even processing it at all.
Exactly.
So that's in full swing. I want to thank you guys for joining. For those who did join, and hopefully you are still in it. But like I said, we got a wonderful show today. I have a special guest here, and I met this man inadvertently. Been seeing him for a while, but you know how it is when you go to the gym, you working out, you trying to get it done. And then I see this squad come up in there like they ready to take over the entire gym. And I noticed that one person, not to take nothing away from nobody else, but I noticed one person in particular really paying attention to everything that he did while he was there, and paid attention to not only his form, but the way he carried himself, and it stood out from the rest of the people who was working out. So I decided to, introduce myself. Once we introduced each other, we found out that you got a real long pedigree, and we share a few things in common as far as the areas where we come from.
Yeah.
And you would never have known, I would never have known, of course, that your son is going hard to this day.
Yeah, he's still at it.
Right.
Still at it.
So, with no further ado, I would like to introduce to you guys Kevin Dillard Sr., long-time NCAA women's referee, product of the South Side, South Suburbs.
Yeah.
And when I tell you he goes hard in the gym, he goes hard in the gym. Most of the time you think of a referee, you think of cheating MF. But no, when you think of sports and you think of refs, you think of someone who just run up and down the court all day, and that's all you think about as the uninformed public. Right. You don't know what a referee does. A referee is almost like a police. You don't see him unless he's reffing.
That's it. That's it.
It's like a cop. You don't see a cop unless he's in the uniform.
Exactly.
So what I wanted to do today, I wanted to get to my audience. I wanted for my audience to see that referees are real. My uncle's a ref. He's a pro ref, I believe, in Michigan, and he does a lot of the AAU stuff up to the pro stuff for like pro-ams and stuff like that. I don't know who he's with or anything because he's not out of Illinois.
Okay.
But all I do know, he's been at it for about 15, maybe 20 years also. And like I told you the other day, I passed all the referee tests, refed a little bit for summer season, and got out of there.
It takes a special individual to stick with it.
Right.
It really does.
I see. And I couldn't, I don't think I could, I felt like I couldn't get up and down anymore like I wanted to over a period of time, knowing that I was going to have to do it that next game, basically not taking any time off, but the time between games.
Right.
So I think it might have frightened me a little bit. Plus, I'm already doing something full time, to where it might not work for my schedule. But we want to get into, first of all, where you from? What started you into the whole basketball refereeing? What's this all about?
That's a very funny story. Well, first of all, I'm product of the South Suburbs. Grew up and born and raised in Markham.
Shout out to Markham.
Yeah. Went to Bremen High School. Athlete 4 years. Went to college, played a little bit, and went away to college. Came back home for a summer. Had a son.
Right.
Life happened.
Life.
Back then it was, you make a decision, and my dad being a Southern guy, you take care of your family.
Oh yeah.
So I had to make a decision. So, I had a choice to make.
Right.
And my choice was, take care of my family. So, I stopped going to school. Was taking care of the family, working, and then my son's mom passed at 18 months. So now I'm a single dad.
Wow. When your son was 18 months.
Yeah, son was 18 months. Now I'm a single dad at 22 years old.
Wow.
So I had to grow up real quick.
That day?
Yeah. Oh, man.
You became an adult.
Instantly.
Wow.
But it was easy. My dad, my family, great support system.
Mm-hmm.
But, my dad was just, the way I was raised with my mom and my dad, it wasn't even an issue.
Mm-hmm.
What to do at that point.
Right.
So now, single dad, I'm still working. But I was playing, I had always loved the game of basketball, but I was playing in men's leagues now.
Okay.
So, I'm playing in the Sunday church leagues, and one of the referees there, his name is Charlie Brown.
Okay.
Charlie was refereeing, and he told me, he was like, you need to put the ball down and pick up a whistle.
Wow.
So I was like, no, man, I'm still playing. So I just,
that's like an insult almost.
Well, I ignored him.
Calling too many calls or something.
Basically. So I ignored him for about 2 or 3 years. Mm-hmm. And then my son got of age where he was playing at that Kevin.
Okay.
He got of age where he was playing, and he started playing, and he was, progressively getting better. And he was playing levels up, and he was 8 years old, playing against 11 and 12-year-olds.
Okay.
And he was giving them the business, but he wasn't getting any calls. So because I played the game, I thought I knew the game.
Right.
So I was hard on that referee. I'm like, come on, man, you cheating.
You see it, right.
And he challenged me. He said, if you think you can do this, then go get a whistle.
Wow.
Go get a shirt. And so I took up his challenge. And when I grabbed the rule book and I looked and I was like, man, there's a big difference from playing the game and reffing the game.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of things that I could have done legally that I didn't know. There were a lot of things I was doing that were illegal that I thought was cool. And so I just learned
as a player.
Yeah, as a player.
Right.
As a player. So I just learned the game. And because I had a passion, I had always loved it, I just started to excel. And actually my son was my study partner.
Okay.
So when he got to high school and was playing basketball, he knew the game. He knew what was right, what the refs were gonna call,
based off of
where
being
they were
the
gonna
study
look.
partner.
Yeah, based off of me studying and him being there with me. So most of these AAU tournaments are like a audition for referees.
Yes.
So I went to a couple of AAU tournaments. A couple of people saw me. They thought I had potential. Invited me to different referee camps. And it just started taking off from there, man.
Wow. That's funny because the reason why I wanted to ref was basically the same thing. My kids play AAU, and I would be super referees, feeling like I knew the game.
Yep.
And always feeling like the referee's cheating.
Yep.
Like 100% of the time, I'm like, they ready to cheat. My mind is made up as soon as I walk in the gym. They're about to cheat us, you know? So same challenge, and really took it up and wanted to do it, but it didn't go as planned. But I guess my first question outside of that would be, if you look at the state of basketball today, seeing that we grew up in the 80s and 90s, played ball in the 80s and 90s, and I attained a semi-pro level myself, more on the military side, and how we played pro ball in the military against like traveling teams from NBA all the way down to college, traveling teams and stuff like that, and different tournaments and conferences within the military. So I noticed that around the millennium, it started to change, and as the more I saw flashy play, the less I saw defense, the less I saw tough play. So you think about the 80s, you think about Magic and Bird and Michael and Isaiah. They were flashy, but it's almost like they were flashy by mistake, because defense was so tough, you pull something out your butthole in order to get it off, and it just so happened to look good.
Right.
So when you come back and press the replay, you're looking at something that shouldn't have happened.
Right.
But they had to pull it out. Like all those scooping moves Mike used to do, they weren't always for flash. You got people swinging at your head and you ducking and doing all that while trying to get the move off.
Exactly.
And the less I saw people really playing defense, the more I saw the offensive guy studying what to do, seeing that it's almost like they knew that the defense was going away. So if I was to ask a question about it, I guess in your opinionated all the way to your professional answer, what do you think the main difference of the game is today as far as the intensity, because everybody's big on athletic ability today, but it seems like they don't even use it, or it's not even tested as much because no one plays defense.
You're right. Back in the 80s and the 90s, it was defense wins ball games.
Exactly.
That's why the Pistons were so tough, because they played defense. And they didn't care if they won the game 2-0.
Right.
But they won
because
of their defense. The Bulls were tough. I mean, triangle offense it is what it is with Michael Jordan, but a lot of people don't realize how many times was Michael Jordan Defensive Player of the Year, or on the all defensive team.
Exactly.
Back then it wasn't you go to the gym or you go to practice and you start off with layups. Back then, he started off with agility drills, which included defensive slides, reaction drills. Now, you walk in the gym, first thing the kid do, he grab a ball, he shoot a 3-pointer.
So
they don't even care about defense.
They don't care.
Now it's about, I mean, the kid has changed too.
Totally.
In the 80s and the 90s, it was more of a dog mentality. You know, it was go out there and get it. Don't let him score. Almost like, you know, we were raised, you know, if you have a fight, don't come home losing. You know, you stay out there and keep fighting until you win.
Until you know you won.
Exactly.
It can't be even. Right.
Or if you lost, he better look worse than you.
Right.
Those days are gone.
Done.
You know,
everybody's a champion these days.
Yeah, we didn't get we didn't get participation awards back then. Nope. If you lost, you lost.
You lost. You lost.
You
Cry.
Lost. Yeah.
Get over it.
Exactly.
Use the tears to come back tougher.
Man, I wish, no, you either get a first place trophy or you get nothing.
You get nothing.
But now, you know, everybody gets a participation award. You know,
you're starting to see the wrong numbers on trophies.
Yeah.
Back then it was first, second, and third. Third at the third was the least.
And it was the smallest trophy. Now
it's not the same size with different number.
Every trophy is the same size with a different number.
You got ninth place trophies with that are similar to the fourth place, to the third.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's wow.
But back then, if you belong, well, we didn't have AAU either.
Totally.
And I think that has messed up a lot of things in basketball, as far as kids and, you know, and feeling like they are entitled. Exactly. So we had traveling teams, right, but you had to make that team. You know, you had to try out for that team. You had to make that team. And then once you made it, you weren't guaranteed playing time. Now, because the market is so saturated, you pay $200 to be on a team, and yeah, you're going to play. Well, if you're the sorriest kid on the team, you don't deserve to play. If you don't come to practice and put in the work, you don't deserve to play.
Exactly.
But that mentality is gone now.
So how do you, as a referee and former player, do you still play?
Man, I'm old. I try to play. Okay. But the jump shot is falling short.
Okay.
I'm not as quick on my feet as I used to.
Just can't get to the hole like you used to.
No, man. My body is not willing what my mind wanted to do.
And now it's trained, as a ref, it's trained to do what
totally
referees
different.
do.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Totally different. That's it.
Okay. So do you feel like, first of all, how long you been a ref?
19 years. I'm going into my 19th season.
So that's 19 years at that level.
At that level, yes.
Wow. How many years prior to that?
Refereed a year and a half prior to being Division I.
Wow. That's great. That's great. That's why I wanted you on, because it was you're an inspiration for the simple fact that when you know you're not going to do it and you see somebody doing it, you gotta show them some love, because you know, I know I'm not gonna do it. And the thing about it, when I took the test, and they was like, if you score 98% or above, you can qualify to become a college ref when the time comes. Mm-hmm. I'm like, yeah, you know. So I got that 98, 99%. I thought I was on my way. But when it fell off, I'm like, all right, whatever, you know, just to go back to what we doing. But to see you 19 years in the game as an NCAA Division I ref, that's good. That's great.
It's a blessing for sure.
How tough is it? How tough is it for one? For one, is it easier, or do you find it a little bit more frustrating as far as refereeing women?
Actually, I would prefer to referee women.
Okay.
Because let me say this correctly. Starting off, they're not as athletic as men. True. So they have to play the game in its purest form. They can't cheat. You know,
can't make up for something.
Exactly. So their footwork is impeccable because they're not as fast. Where they're starting to get as fast, but for the most part, the majority, they have to work on footwork. They have to work on defense. So I enjoy it because I don't have to deal with attitudes. I mean, there are some players, Skylar Diggins was an exception, but she didn't have an attitude.
Okay.
Agoulier that just left Notre Dame was an exception. But those type,
Wow.
if they're players, they respect the game. On the men's side or the boys side, now in high school, you got high school boys, for whatever reason, everybody think they're going to the NBA.
Everyone.
Right. And
who doesn't?
Newsflash, you're not leaving high school early.
Exactly.
So when you got a freshman in high school, talking, you're like, he jazzy and he know everything.
Yes.
Man, I ain't got to deal with that, because with that attitude is something sparking that attitude. And on the women's side,
yes,
they just play the game more pure.
It's almost like the women were told to play it for a different reason, and that reason being more pure.
Well,
like the boys are told, you go into the league.
Exactly.
The women are told, go hard for the scholarship or go hard for the simple fact that you're able to play the game.
Yeah.
Something a little bit more pure than what the boys are told. Something that's not as watered down as what the men and the boys are told.
Well, it's a privilege and it's not a right.
Exactly.
The boys feel that they have the right to play basketball. It's a privilege to play that game.
It is.
And that's what the women address it as. It's a privilege to play this game. Now they're starting to get paid more and more, and there are more opportunities for them. But they were playing just as hard when they didn't have those opportunities. When it was when it was okay, I'm going to school for 4 years, and basketball is going to get me my education.
Schooling. Right?
Exactly. So the mindset is completely different. There was a young lady at she went to HF, graduated from HF, and went to Duke to play basketball. And her mindset was, I'm not going to the WNBA, but I'm going to get a degree from Duke. And that's the mindset of the majority of the women playing. Now, there are some who, I want to go to the WNBA. Okay, and that's fine. But they still play the game with respect.
And that's the key.
Yeah.
That's the key. As a fan, it's tough to watch sometimes these days. It's tough to watch men's basketball because I do feel like it's a make or miss league.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel like no one's ever tested. What I feel like is tested in basketball these days is, did you practice that shot?
Right.
Because that's when you'll hit that shot. If you practice it a million times, you'll hit it, because I'm not going to impede on your progress of learning how to make that move, which is called defense. It's called defense.
Exactly.
But when I watch the females do not want you to get anything. It's almost as if they don't want you to score to this day. Because they don't have the footwork or the gliding and flying around. They want you to really have to make that shot.
Yeah, they have the 80s and 90s mentality.
Exactly.
Because
they kept it.
Exactly. Well, the thing is, I think that the men would have kept it if everything wasn't given to them. You got guys coming out of high school signing multi-million-dollar contracts. You don't have women coming out of high school signing that big money.
That's true.
So when the guys, they come out, they make career decisions. A career decision is to not allow you to step on my foot, for me not to go grab that rebound because I might go into the stands.
Exactly.
The women, they just go get it. They don't want you to beat them. They still have that dog mentality.
That's true.
As talented offensively as, some of the women are, they are just as talented defensively, because they don't want you to score.
They don't want the mind.
They don't.
They do not want you to score.
They don't. And they take it personal if somebody's scoring on them. They take it personal.
Wow. This is the Fitness Report radio show, brought to you by the Fitness Representative. You can call in. The number is 708-223-8953. We have referee Kevin Dillard here, and we're picking his brain about all things basketball. And what we want to know is, what do you do? What do you do to stay in shape? How is it that, because I did the numbers one time on basketball compared to other sports. Soccer, they run the most,
Mm-hmm.
about 7 miles a game.
Yeah.
Basketball, point guard is second. Well, basketball is second with the point guard running about half of that, about 3.5 miles a game,
Right.
and down from there. As a referee, you're running just as much as they are, or at least you're moving just as much as they are to get to your spots. So you run at least 2 miles a game.
The most I've run in one game is 3.5.
Wow. Which basically you're a point guard. Because that's the most from the most active position in the sport.
Yeah.
What do you do to stay in shape? Because it's not just what I saw at the gym.
Well, no, it's not. But you have to eat right, especially when you're traveling. Like you were talking earlier about what scared you off was being able to do it night in and night out.
Right. Yes.
But it's a preparation for it. There is no off season. You train all year long. So I train to stay in shape all year long. Now I have my, I
Your
snack.
time periods, right?
I snack. I like my warm chocolate chip cookies and all that stuff.
Goodness, me too.
My hot apple pie, olive mode. I like that. But every day, 8:00, I'm in the gym. Every day, 8:00, I'm in the gym, and it's something different. Like right now, I do more interval training.
Okay.
To keep my cardio up. So
along with everything else.
Exactly. So I'm still lifting weights, but I'm not lifting heavy. I'm just doing a lot of reps, and I'm bouncing from the bench to the wheel, from the wheel to a back machine, or doing curls, and I'm doing interval training, 3 sets of 3 sets of circuits. And then in the summertime, it's a different training. Summertime, I lift a little heavier.
Okay.
Just to get the bulk.
Okay.
Because during the season, you're in and out of hotels. You don't have all that weight. You just don't weight. I think the weights in the hotels go up to 50 pounds, dumbbells. But
this is true. Yes.
Summertime, I want to push some weight.
You want to get it up there.
Yeah.
So you go to the gym.
Exactly. Make sure you eat right.
Okay.
Make sure you eat right. I adopted the phrase, I eat for what I'm getting ready to do, not for what I just did. That's why breakfast is so important to me. Because breakfast, it starts your whole day. So if I eat a good breakfast because I'm getting ready to start the day, then my dinner is going to be light. Because all I'm doing after dinner is what? I'm sitting down, I'm watching TV, or I'm going to bed.
You might want to be a trainer.
I dabble in that a little bit. Shout out to Brother Keith.
Right. So look, basically what he just said is something that, if you know me, I've preached this my entire career as a trainer over the last decade. You do not eat. He just said it. You eat for what's next. You eat for what's next. So if you're eating for what's next and nothing is next, why would that be your biggest meal?
Exactly.
That's where it comes into that's where it comes into the mentality of America in general, because you're taught to eat based around what's comfortable. Because if you think of what's next when you eat dinner, what's next is comfort.
Exactly.
You sit down, you lay down, you watch TV, and you do these things. So basically, you're eating in order to feel better about what's next, not to do anything active at all. So if you think about breakfast, people want it to be the opposite.
Exactly.
They want to not eat because they got something going on next.
Right.
Instead of eating to fuel what's going on next, and not to eat so much because you don't need that fuel. So for you to say that's huge. And hopefully the listeners out to that, because you can't be sluggish. That goes right along with lifting weights in the summertime, but not doing as much in the winter.
Yep.
You can't be sluggish. You got to be fresh for the season. So that's huge. That's huge.
We didn't even talk about that. We didn't even discuss it.
Exactly. So that's to me, first of all, like I said, I commend you for one, coming on the show. That's huge, to even to be in the presence of a referee that actually refs D1 games, and to see that it's not about it's about the love of the sport, and to transition that love into some way of staying a part of it for a longer period of time than you can actually play it.
Yeah.
So for me, that's huge. I had one client who wanted to know, because I told I was going to do the show with a ref, with the NCAA ref. This is what she told me. This is what she asked me. She was like, well, why don't you ask him, why is it that when, and we all want to know it. We all want to know this, period.
Okay.
Why is it that, she said, why is it that when that little girl who traveled that I ain't know, she got called for traveling. but when but when the number one player in the nation traveled, they got to get away with it. That was the number one question that I got from everybody who was interested in you coming on today.
All right. Well,
the selective calls for stars versus that.
Well, there are no selective calls.
Okay.
Because in the rule book, it just states a travel is a travel, no matter who does it. Now, we have to understand exactly what a travel is.
Okay.
So you may think a person travels just because the play looks ugly. But
True.
ugly ain't illegal.
True.
So if a person picks their pivot foot up, they're allowed to do that without penalty.
Okay.
When they put that pivot foot back down,
that same foot,
that's when it's a travel.
Okay.
See, a lot of times everyone says she picked her pivot foot up, and I'm like, yeah, you're right, she did.
That, and I think that's huge.
That's the thing.
Most people think that if you pick the foot up after sitting it down, it's a travel.
If once you establish your pivot and you are allowed to pick it up, you're just not allowed to replace it.
Okay.
So that's part of it. And when I did not know that rule, I thought the exact same thing.
Because you learn 2 steps. The second step, you got to shoot. If you pick that up, it's travel. Don't pick it up after that second step.
Nope.
So
you can't put it back down.
That's huge. That's huge. Most people don't know that.
Exactly. Because what they're taught, like, I mean, we play street ball. Growing up, we played in the hood. So we figured if you dribbling the ball and it goes over your shoulder, what did we call?
That was a carry.
Carries. No.
Yes.
No such thing. That ball can go over your shoulder up to the ceiling. As long as your hand is on top of that ball, it's a legal dribble. We call dribble off the body. What we call that? Carries,
that's
right?
A carry, right?
No, that's just a missed dribble.
Wow. And you got people who, I remember when I was playing, if it came off my body, I would just let it go.
Oh, man. See? We were some of the most ignorant basketball players. But
I would let it drop off my body and then get back to dribbling once it's off me.
Yeah, no, that's just a missed dribble. That's all it is.
Wow.
Now, if it comes to a rest on your body, then you can't dribble it anymore.
You got to stop.
Right. Or the misconception of, once you have it in your hand and you fumble it, you can't pick it back up. No.
Okay.
Every fumble gets a recovery.
You just can't go back into an offensive move.
Exactly. Right. So you can dribble, fumble, dribble.
Okay.
But you can't fumble, dribble, fumble.
Right. So fumbling has to be last. And then
fumbling has to be in the middle.
Okay.
It can't be first or last.
Okay. So if it's last, that's considered
a turnover.
Okay. So what's the official call for that? A travel?
Travel.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you changed your pivot
during the time where you fumbling.
Exactly.
Wow, that's deep. That's deep. For those out there who watch basketball, he just said it. It's the ugly plays that make you feel like something went wrong.
Right.
But ugly isn't wrong.
Ugly and illegal.
It's ugly.
That's what I tell coaches. When they ugly and illegal, coach. It looked funny. I agree with you. It looked funny, but they just didn't do anything wrong.
So who's the toughest? Who's the toughest coach out there to deal with? I know you've seen it all.
They're all interesting. They're all interesting. And some coaches are a little harder on referees.
And they go to it ready to be.
Yeah, because it's a trust thing.
Right.
Coaches, you have to realize, coaches have their job relies on if an 18 to 21-year-old can perform.
Okay.
So if I'm if my family eating depends on these kids being able to perform, I'm going to make sure that you know what that they can perform.
Yes.
So Gino is fair, but he's tough. He is. He's fair, but he's tough.
He's tough on you guys.
He's tough on everybody.
Everybody in the building, everybody around that
It
court.
is. Gino's his standard is excellence for everybody. Wow. He thinks the game deserves everyone's best. Coach McGraw, Muffet, she's the same way. Doug Bruno at DePaul, the same way.
Are they very? I know Gino's very vocal.
Mm-hmm.
But what about the most of the? Are most of the coaches very vocal?
It depends on the level. It depends on the how intense the game is. Because they really want to win. Everybody wants to win, and some things they get vocal about, especially if they feel you're not listening to them. So as officials, we have to be approachable.
Okay.
Now that doesn't always mean we have to be available, because there are times when coaches can get in our way and stop us from doing our job, and we don't want them to become a distraction to us. So that's when tell a coach, hey, listen, coach, I hear you, but you're distracting me from working. And if I got to listen to you, if I got to choose between listening to you and getting this play right, I'm going to get the play right. And most coaches respect that, because like I said, they want what's best for the game.
Okay. So would you say what would be the highest, what would be the most important game you've refed?
To date. Last year I was blessed with the opportunity to referee number 1 Notre Dame versus number 2 Louisville.
Nice.
It was a blessing. Nice. It really was.
The atmosphere.
It was crazy.
Were they in South Bend? Or?
Yes.
Wow.
The lights in the arena were bright. So you walk out of the locker room and you see all the cameras. And I had refereed at Notre Dame before, but I had never refereed a game like that.
As number 1.
Number 1 versus number 2. It's the only game on that night. ESPN is in the building. It was fun.
And you're at half court looking at all of this.
I was praying. I was praying. If I say I wasn't nervous, I was anxious.
Okay.
Because
huge difference.
Because in my mind, my mindset is, if you get ready, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
Okay.
So that was a game. I always wanted to referee a big game. So going into that game, every game I had refereed up to that point was that game.
For that point.
It was there. So I didn't have to do anything different, because, all of my practices up until then were for that moment.
Okay.
So I didn't have to change anything. It was, come on, Kev, you refereed this game here, all year. You refereed this game last year. So now that this game is here, you're ready for it.
Mental preparation.
Exactly.
Wow. That's deep. I think your job is probably way tougher than any player's job. If I'm thinking about just a little bit of time that I ref, that to get that call right and move on, it's tough to see. It's tough to do it within the flow of the game without wanting to just keep the game going. You don't want to blow the whistle.
Yeah.
A lot of times, to me, from what I saw on that freshman level or that JV level, I did not want to blow that whistle, because I did not think the same as what maybe today calls for when it comes to blowing the whistle, especially for a foul.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough to blow a whistle for a foul when you don't think it's a foul, but today's game says it's a foul. And that's difficult.
Well, you have to you can't be a player.
Exactly.
You can't be a player.
That's true.
You just gotta look, the rule states that this is a foul no matter what. And you just,
no matter when.
That's it. I mean, let's see, the fastest foul call I made last year in a game was 5 seconds into the game. They're serious. It was a foul at 5 seconds. Coach was like, "You're gonna start off like that?" Well, coach, she fouled there at 5
She
seconds.
started off like that. I didn't.
And the last time I blew my whistle in a game was with 1.7 seconds left. It was a foul.
In the tight game or
it was a 3-point ball game.
Wow.
It was a 3-point ball game.
Basically, they was ready to kill you.
Well, you get the question, how can you end the game like that? Well, my thing is, if you punch out of work early, you don't get paid for that. So why should I stop working? I get paid, or my job ends when the final horn blows.
0-0.
So I have to work up until that point. So therefore, if there's a foul at 1.7, then there's a foul at 1.7.
And they're totally expecting you not to call that.
The coaches do and the fans do, but my supervisor doesn't.
Okay.
I am expected to referee that game until the end.
So when you say your supervisor, is he out there also, or is he watching?
Big brother is always watching, brother.
Right.
Especially in this day and age of streaming, Facebook. Every conference has a news a network. So every game you referee, somebody is watching.
Seen.
Yeah.
It's almost like getting into a fight it's like getting into a fight these days. It will be on camera.
Oh yeah.
Someone will catch it.
Just not World Star.
Right. Wow, that's very interesting, because we think about refereeing and we always look at the surface as a player for sure. You look at the surface of refereeing because you don't want anyone to stop you from moving around.
Right.
And when they do, your feelings kick in fast. And that's the part right there that it gets tough to leave out, your feelings. You're pissed off because they called something on you that you probably did.
Right.
And I was watching NBA this week, and I noticed that they got the coaches challenge up in there. Is that in college also right now?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I pray it doesn't. I pray it doesn't.
It happened last night 2 or 3 times in a short span.
Mm-hmm.
And the coaches had nothing left to challenge. They got it right. Well, no, they overturned a couple of them, but it just seems super weird.
It is weird because, at first, when I first started officiating, we didn't have a monitor.
Okay.
Now we got a monitor. Now we got the coaches' challenges. We are all human playing this game, officiating this game. So there's going to be some human error.
It's going to be
your center is not going to make every layup. He's not going to get every rebound. Your point guard's not going to complete every pass. There's going to be some human error. So,
yes,
for everything to be on the officials' shoulders, that puts a lot of pressure on us.
Well, we want you guys to be perfect.
Yeah.
Everybody else gets to make huge
exactly.
mistakes.
We have to be perfect. And that's fine. I don't have a problem with that challenge. But, at the times when I'm not perfect, because I'm going to miss a call. Every referee is going to miss a call. We don't have that. And this is just my opinion. We don't have the right to say, coach, you shouldn't have called that play.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We don't have the right to say anything about the coach's performance or the player's performance, but everyone has the right to say something about us and give it to us.
This is true.
And you have to have extremely thick skin.
That's true also.
Let's see. I consider it like I'm a comedian and I just got a whole bunch of hecklers out there. And every call I make is a joke, and not everybody's gonna laugh at it, but not everyone, you know what I'm saying? And hopefully if I don't have to explain my calls, kind of like if you got to explain a joke, it wasn't funny. So if I got to explain my calls, then it wasn't there. So my goal is to not have to explain my calls. Make sure that everything is it's out there. If I call a foul, a hit, everyone saw it was a hit.
It's a clear foul.
Exactly.
And the more you don't, the less you have to explain, the better the call.
The better. But you have some fans who, no matter what, they can see that girl get smacked in the head and why'd you call that? What? Okay.
Totally got smacked.
Exactly.
You saw her get smacked in the head.
Exactly.
Wow.
I've only been addressed racially one time.
That was my next question.
One time. That's all it takes.
Okay.
Just one time.
That's true. That's
And
true.
a lot of people also don't understand that the official has the authority to clear the entire gym, the entire arena. If they feel unsafe, or if they can stop everything and clear the arena. Now I've never had to do that, but I have sent some people home early. I mean, if you don't you pay to watch basketball. You don't pay to insult the officials.
This is true.
Now I don't mind being called bald head, and I am black. But you start getting, calling me the N-word. Stop.
Right.
And I just asked the question. I said, who said it? And no one would say who said it. So I said, you know what? Game management, you take from this person to that person, and they all got to go. Man, they start singing like church bells. They start singing like the choir. He said it. He said it. Okay.
Right. So that's all I asked for in the first place.
That's it. I just wanted to know who said it. I'm not mad at it. I'm actually, I feel sorry that you have to still say the N-word.
Resort to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's deep. That's deep. Wow, this is the Fitness Report radio show. We're talking with Kevin Dillard, NCAA ref. We are live on IntellectualRadio.com. So in closing, like I said, first of all, we want to go into we want to say thank you for coming on the show. We want to say thank you for being a part of basketball going forward after playing, because it's a beautiful sport and we all love it. Where could we find you next?
What do you mean?
Real quick before we go, okay, are you in the season right now?
I am in the season right now. If you go to the Basic Sports Group on Facebook, you'll find I post plays, I post videos, and on there'll be a link to hit me up, and you'll know where I am officiating. I can't say that over the air, but you'll let me know if you hit me up.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure to be with this brother. This has been the Fitness Report radio show, brought to you by the Fitness Representative, and you guys have a wonderful weekend. Take care. Thank you for joining.
On them 20 years later, just to show a hater that they still a hater. You the living legend and emancipator. You so live, you create a player. I mean, you the reason that I'm getting paper. You the I should carry some toilet paper just to wipe me down. Do it better, do it right, do it different, do it nice. You do the impossible, then do it twice. Everybody wanna know why you killing them so hard, why you taking it so far. Baby girl, you a star. You got it. Yes, I want it. Baby, you got it.